Who's doing your thinking? Not in some grand philosophical way. I mean today, this week, when you need to know something, decide something, find the right words for someone you love. Whose thinking got you there? Yours or the machine's? Here's a small honest test. You've driven your own route 100 times. Home, work, the places you always stop. And the whole way, a voice told you where to turn. Turn the voice off. Could you drive it alone? Somewhere in there, be honest, there's a turn you'd miss. A road you've traveled 100 times, and it never became yours. The machine knew the way, so you never had to. That used to be about roads. It isn't anymore. The same quiet trade is now on offer for everything. What to write, what to make of the news, what to say to someone you love, what's true. Same trade, same muscle going quiet, except this time it's the muscle that decides. Now, 2 things before we start, because I owe you both of them. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you AI is destroying your mind. I use it to make these videos. It says so in the description of every one of them. And before we're done, I'll show you exactly where I draw the line. But I'm not gonna tell you it's nothing either, that people panicked over every new tool and it always turned out to be fine. One crowd says the sky's falling. The other says nothing's happening at all. And I think both answers are a way of not looking. What I want to do instead is simpler. There's a line between what you can safely hand to a machine and the one thing you can't. And almost nobody is drawing it in the right place. By the end of this video, you'll be able to draw it yourself, and you can test every word of it against your own life, which is the only test I actually trust. You don't have to believe anything I believe. Let me hand you the picture that organized all of this for me. You're walking at night, the way you always have. A small lantern, a small circle of light, one step at a time. And then a light comes on above you. Enormous, brilliant, steady. It shows you everything, the path, the trees, the hills you'd only ever guessed at. Farther and clearer than your little flame ever could. And it isn't yours. You didn't light it. You don't carry it. You couldn't say exactly who does. That's what this machine is, a borrowed light. And I want to be fair to it because fairness is the whole game here. It is a marvel. It answers in seconds what used to take a season of your life. For most of human history, the hard part of knowing anything was getting to it. The book you couldn't afford, the teacher you'd never meet, the language you couldn't read. That wall is down. I won't pretend that's nothing. It may be the most remarkable thing we get to see in a lifetime. But a borrowed light has one property that never goes away, no matter how bright it gets. It can leave. And when it leaves, you're not where you were before it came. You're deeper in because you walked further, trusting it. The brighter the light, the deeper in you'll be when it goes out. Your own lantern looks almost embarrassing next to it. Dim, slow, it takes years to light, and it gutters in the wind. But it has the one property the great light will never have. It's yours. It goes where you go. It burns in any weather, and nobody can switch it off from somewhere you've never been. So here's the line, the real one. The one this video exists to draw. It's not between using the machine and refusing it. It's between what the light shows you and what you can carry. An answer is what the light shows you. Understanding is a light you carry. They look identical in the moment, but that's the trap. Ask the machine a question, and the answer arrives whole, polished, better worded than you'd have managed. It fills the screen exactly the way understanding would. But watch what happens a week later when something real leans on it. A decision, an argument, a person you're trying to help. You reach for the borrowed answer, and nothing's under it. I've told you before that most of what we believe we never chose. Beliefs like hand-me-down coats, worn because they were handed to us. Well, the coats are machine-made now. Cut to your size, any subject, stitched perfectly, delivered in seconds. It has never been easier to be fully dressed in thoughts you never had. So if the light is that good, and it is, what does standing in it cost? Nothing. Nothing at all. That's the part that should worry you. A price of nothing is not what a real trade usually looks like. Because here's the thing about you, the actual mechanism, and you can test this on your own body. Whatever you stop doing yourself, you slowly lose the doing of. Nobody decides to forget the route. You just let a voice make every turn for a few years, and the map of your own city quietly leaves you. Nobody decides to lose arithmetic. You just always have a calculator. The muscle doesn't complain when the machine lifts the bar for it. It just gently, without ceremony, goes. Thinking obeys the same law, with one difference that makes it worse. Handing it over gets easier every time you do it. You've heard me describe the loop. Every action feeds the thought that started it, and the charged thought comes back stronger. Run it here. Hand a question to the machine once, and it's a convenience. 100 times, and it's a reflex. The question is barely finished forming before you've already passed it on. You're not weighing whether to think anymore. The weighing itself got handed over. That part of you, the one that decides what's worth your own thinking. Call it the chooser, or the judge, or whatever word fits your own mouth. The name isn't the point, and it isn't mine to hand you. Because each handover isn't just an answer received, it's also a rep of handing over. And now the other half, because the loop runs both directions, and I'd be lying to you if I left this out. The same machine that will think for you will think with you. It will take the idea you just formed and attack it. Find the cracks, name the assumptions you couldn't see. Make you say the thing plainly instead of vaguely. Back and forth, again and again. The way two friends sharpen each other across a table. You walk away from that with more of your own thinking, not less. Tested, articulated. Yours in a way it wasn't an hour ago. Same machine, both directions. The difference was never in the tool. It's in which way you point it. Does the answer arrive instead of your thinking or because of it? Let me open my own workshop now, because I told you I would, and because I'd rather show you a line than preach one. These videos are made with AI, and not a little. The paintings you're looking at right now, the machine painted them. From scenes I chose, in a style I set. The captions, the cutting, the assembly. A machine does that too. At my direction. And it does in an evening what would cost me a week. That's the tedious wait, and I hand it over gladly. That's what the tool is for. And then there's the line. The ideas are mine. They come from my own life, my own shifts, my own 3 a.m. questions. The judgment is mine. What's true, what's honest, what goes in, and what dies in the draft. The voice is mine, recorded at my own desk in the middle of the night. And the words, I'll be more honest than I have to be. The machine sits at the table too. The second way, back and forth. Drafts get argued, attacked, struck out, rewritten. And nothing reaches your ears until it has passed through my own understanding. I come out the other side as something I can actually defend. Hands work, handed over. Mind work, kept. And I'll tell you the part nobody warns you about. The line creeps. Convenience is patient. It never asks for the muscle. It just offers to carry one more small thing. And one more. So every so often I sit down and ask myself one auditing question. What did I hand over this month, and did I mean to? I recommend that question. It's free and it stings a little, which is usually the sign it's working. Now, the objection, and it deserves a real answer because it's a good one. People have panicked over every tool. The story goes that Socrates worried writing would ruin memory. They said the calculator would end arithmetic. They said it about GPS. Every generation survives the new machine. Here's my honest answer. They weren't wrong. That's what makes this hard. Writing did cost us memory. There were once people who carried whole epics in their heads, and that art is mostly gone. We traded it for libraries, and it was, mostly, a magnificent trade. The calculator did take arithmetic. The voice did take the map of your own city. You know it did. We started there. Tools take the muscle they replace, reliably enough that you can watch it happen in your own life. The panics weren't wrong about the price. They were wrong about whether it was worth paying, because mostly we were trading muscles we could spare. So the real question was never, is something lost? Something is always lost. The question is which muscle we're trading this time. Navigation is one skill. Arithmetic is one skill. But thinking, weighing what's true, judging what matters, choosing what to do, that isn't one skill on the shelf. It's the thing that runs the shelf. Every other choice you will ever make passes through it. Trade that one and you haven't handed off a task. You've handed off the chooser. I want to tell you what I'm actually for before we close, because it would be easy to hear all of this as a man shaking his fist at the future, and I'm not. The future I choose. And this is mine, just an offering. Build your own. Looks harmonized, technology folded into the world, not spread across it. Small enough to put away. There when you want it, gone when you don't. You'd step outside and it could almost be the past, except cleaner. The forests, still forests. The water you could trust, and the beautiful differences between people still there. The languages, the customs, the 1,000 ways of cooking and singing and greeting each other. Not flattened into one bland sameness, but kept the way you keep anything precious. Every morning I grind my coffee by hand. There's a machine that would do it for me in 4 seconds, and do it more evenly than I ever could. But that glorious smell comes up while I'm still turning it. And that smell is how the day starts. The good kind of start. Then the press and the waiting, which is honestly half of what I like about it. Nothing in that needs improving. Nobody's even asking me for it, and I wouldn't hand it over. That's the whole future in a miniature. Let the machine take the weight you never wanted. Keep the 10 minutes you look forward to. And the machine's right there in it, with us, carrying the tedious weight, the mundane, the repetitive, the hours that were never going to make anyone wiser. And thinking with us, back and forth, sharpening, never instead of us. I don't know if that future comes, nobody does, but I know one thing it requires. People who kept their own lanterns lit. It cannot be built by people who handed over the chooser. A world like that has to be chosen, and choosing is the one job that was never the machine's. So here's the practice, insultingly small, as you've come to know and love. The next time you're about to hand the machine a question that actually matters to you, pause. Answer it yourself first. One sentence. It doesn't have to be good, but it does have to be yours. Then ask and compare. That one sentence changes everything, and here's why. It keeps the chooser in the room. Now the machine is responding to your thinking instead of replacing it. Some days you'll disagree with what comes back. That disagreement is the muscle working. And some days its answer will be better than yours, and you'll understand why it's better. which means even then, the rep was yours. And past that, a few roads, none of them mine to pick for you. You've already seen mine. I draw the line by kind. Hands work handed over. Mind work kept. Knowing the line creeps and auditing it. It's the one I can speak for. It isn't the only one that works. Some people keep one room the machine never enters. One craft, one subject. One corner of life kept fully by hand, whatever it cost in time. There's a real price on that door. There's also something behind it that nothing else provides. Some think fast and consult second, every time, as a discipline. Slower, honest. As long as you never start pretending you'd already thought what it just told you. Which is yours? Or, what's the road I haven't thought of? I mean that as a real question. We started on a road you've driven 100 times that was never yours. The borrowed light is only going to get brighter. I won't guess what it shows us next year. Anyone who says they know is selling something. But the question underneath doesn't change with the brightness. It isn't, what can it do? That answer expires monthly. It's this. What won't you hand over? Go name it. One thing, tonight. And that one, don't ask the machine.